Hi, my name is Rod Khleif, and I'm the host of the Lifetime Cash Flow Through Real Estate Investing podcast. And every week I interview multifamily rock stars, and we talk about how they've built incredible wealth for themselves and their families through multifamily properties. So hit the like and subscribe buttons to get notified every Monday when a new episode comes out. Let's get to it. Welcome to another edition of How to Build Lifetime Cash Flow Through Real Estate Investing. I'm Rod Khleif, and I am thrilled that you're here. And I am super excited to interview the gentleman that we're interviewing today. His name's Eric Upchurch, and Eric is former military and one of my favorite students. And I mean, to tell you why, he went from 0 units to 571 units his first year in our program. And But what I really love about Eric is he's a member of an organization called Active Duty Passive Income that helps military veterans, active duty and passive, active duty and former active duty, get into real estate investing. In fact, they wrote a book called Military House Hacking, and I was honored to write the foreword for that book. And it's really all about, oh, there it is right there. He held it up if you're listening. Rod Khleif, right. And it's just about, getting into this business, utilizing your VA benefits and, what an incredible opportunity that is. Welcome to the show, brother.
I am honored to be here. What a whirlwind this has been the last couple of years. Thank you for having me.
Oh yeah, no, this is going to be fun. So, let's take it back like we always do on the show and talk about, we start with the military maybe, and then work your way up to, where you are today, brother.
Yeah, sure. So I served in special operations in the Army and loved what I did. I got a master's degree in aeronautical science while I was serving. When I transitioned out, I was coming back from Georgia to the San Francisco Bay Area, super high price market. And we left behind a rental in Georgia that we used the VA loan on. So 100% leveraged, bought it in 2006. Really good time to have a 100% leveraged house, right? 2006.
No.
So anyway, that house ended up being a rental, and my wife and I were like, well, that's making a little bit of money. Could we do better? And so anyway, fast forward, we ended up buying a house in the San Francisco Bay Area with a VA loan, and kind of started calling that our capital building phase. And we ended up flipping 3 times. And then I got into my first limited partnership deal because a buddy of mine was syndicating, and he kind of told me, "Hey, this is a great vehicle. I could potentially double your investment in 5 years." And my mind kind of blew. Right, I didn't know anything about it at that. I hadn't even heard your podcast yet at that time or anything. So zero knowledge. But yeah, that's kind of where I started out, and went to a boot camp, a single family boot camp. And I knew that there was like Rich Dad, Poor Dad and some other stuff. And I was really just trying to feel it out and figure out what I could do and what niche I could find in real estate investing. Nice.
So talk about your first multifamily deal. And I know you guys have a great team via the ADPI organization, where your group there at ADPI, and you guys have put together something really formidable on a team standpoint. And guys, this business is a team sport. And so let's talk about that first deal. Take us through the first one, and then, or the first exciting one. It doesn't have to be the very first.
No, I'll tell you the first one that we did as a team on our own, collectively. I'll say that the reason we found this is because our CEO and my partner, Mark Jan, he and his mom had been following your podcast, and that ended up, and they were a caller on your show, back in the early days. And that got them to buy a 56 unit just outside of Indianapolis. And so then that's how I ended up going to your boot camp and seeing everything, 2 years ago in LA. And so fast forward, we started this partnership, and we're just like, holy cow, we can really do this. So that same broker who found them that 56 unit found this deal also off market. And it was an 80 unit asset, and the owner lived in Japan, had no debt service, owned it outright, had not been taking care of it very well, had a pretty lackluster property manager. She was aging. She'd actually unfortunately passed now.
Where was it located?
Is in Alexandria, Indiana.
Okay.
So just outside of Indianapolis. It's like a 45-minute drive to downtown. So tertiary market, and that scares some people. In 2019, buying in tertiary markets maybe, or now people are scared of it. But as long as, to us, as long as you know the people, you know the location, you know the property managers, you know the broker, and the property has a good story and a good reason that it's a good deal, we felt comfortable with it. And I grew up in central Iowa, so I know the people. I know kind of the culture around small towns.
I remember now. This is kind of taxing my limited brain capacity, but I remember the deal now. I can even picture it in my mind. I remember going through it with you. Yep. Anyway, continue. So 80 units. Yeah.
So 80 units, and what we started digging, and you know how much by this point how much I love to dig and network and talk to the people in the community. And so we talked to the school superintendent, the tax commissioner, I'll just say this: the superintendent told us when we called them that they just passed a bond to build a brand new elementary school across the street. There was already the middle and high school, and they're adding a new wing to the high school as well. So we're going to have K through 12 across the street, which we now do, right, in this community. And if they're building in that community, signs are good. So,
so let me stop you. Let me stop you for a second, only because I want to hammer home what you just said. And that is, guys, when you're taking down an asset, I mean, he took it to a whole nother level. I mean, I think there's even a punchline at the end of this. I think somebody even higher up in the political system there you met with, but if I recall, but you get out there and you meet as many people as you can, public and private, to ask questions about the asset you're considering, and you're going to discover things that the average person will not discover. But if you're listening to me, you're not average, and so you turn over every rock and every stone. And to find out both the good and the bad and the ugly. Like I'll give you an example on a Louisiana asset. If I hadn't asked a resident what was going on with the particular asset, I wouldn't have found out that there were drainage issues, and we were able to get $1 million off on that particular deal because of that conversation. So anyway, please continue.
Look, I'm just doing what my mentor told me to do, right? You have to be willing to do what others are not. And there's nothing to me, with all the things that I've been through and that our team has been through, there's nothing scary about real estate investing. There's nothing scary. There's nothing hard about it. You're providing, Rod, the well-traveled path, the system in place. All of that stuff is just, okay, I'm a military guy. Yeah, I can check boxes like nobody's business, right? So learn something. Once you do something and take action, it's no longer scary. So that's one thing I like about what I learned through your coaching program is that it's centered around, sure, learn the stuff too. You got to learn the language. But step 2, and kind of the most, your coaching students focus more on this, which is just break through and take action. If you take action with that stuff that you've learned, it's no longer scary. It's not hard to talk to a broker once you know the language and you've built up a little confidence. So be willing, be vulnerable. You've got to be willing to screw up sometimes.
Sure. I remember phone calls from you on this deal because you were stressing a little bit on the equity raise. I remember this specifically now. But continue with what you did as far as your due diligence and stuff.
Oh man.
There.
So look, my role, I love talking to people, obviously. I don't know where that came from because I'm an INTJ, so I'm kind of introverted, but when I know something really well, my life mission is to educate, empower, and to help people grow. And I've known that for 10 years. Nice. And so I love to digest some kind of new information and go out there and put it to use and tell as many people about it as possible. So look, I went to the property. I had lunch with the mayor because I reached out and said, hey, we're a group of active duty and veteran investors, and we want to invest in your community. Can we sit down and talk about it? He's like, yeah, sure. He liked the conversation so much, he ended up taking me through a tour of the city hall, introduced me to the building commissioner and all these other people. And so it was amazing. And now, look, I got to say too, it doesn't stop with the mayor. I contacted the governor of Indiana. And one thing that we do that's unique, and I hope we talk about this a little bit later, but one thing we do that's unique is we dedicate every property to a Medal of Honor or local military hero, a Medal of Honor recipient.
Love it.
And so we bring the community together. So we invited the principal and the dean across the street. We invited the mayor. We invited State Representative Melanie Wright. We invited the governor, Eric Holcomb of Indiana. And he was sending a proxy to our event to talk to the community. So it's about bringing the community together and networking.
I love it. Now, guys, this is taking, I talk about this. What he was referencing is in my course and at my live events, I talk about doing what other people aren't willing to do. This is taking that to a whole nother level. I love it. Beautiful job.
And just because I like it,
Right.
so I'm kind of doing it I feel like almost for selfish reasons.
But you think that if he's introduced to the building inspector, to the mayor, all of these people, if there's a problem at that property, even one that, that could be that property related, do you think he's going to get taken care of better than someone, that's just somebody off the street? You better freaking believe it. So
yeah.
Love it.
Had a drunk driver run into a row of 8 units of our garages, one of our tenants, and I know the building commissioner. And so we just made sure that, we're going to condemn the thing and cordon it off so it's not a hazard. So just having those connections was, it's an amazing thing.
Oh, yeah. So you took it down and it's doing well. And so I think you've also done a mobile home park, haven't you?
Yeah, we did
some other asset class.
We did a 71 pad mobile home park community in Southern Indiana, and now we're looking. Actually, we're close on a couple other deals right now that we're excited about. And
fantastic.
That thing, we just renovated 8 units, and we can talk about that if you want to. I'll let you lead the conversation, but we just increased the value by $411,000 by renovating and selling off 8 pads.
Yeah. I don't want to digress in the mobile home park business, guys. If you're interested in mobile home parks, one of my best friends, Kevin Bupp, has the best podcast on the planet about that. He's a very good friend. He's a member of my mastermind, as is Eric now. Check him out. But let's go back to this business, because I want you to inspire the listeners on this show that know they want to do this, that haven't done it yet. And let's talk about some of the things that you might, some of the advice that you might give them to get started here. And this is not a plug for my coaching or anything like that. This is let's get into the mechanics of this. Certainly we'd love to talk to you. If you're interested in coaching, text the word crush to 41411 and we'll talk to you about our mentorship program, our warrior program, which is incredible. Or if you want to come see me at a live stream, I've got a live stream coming up July 25th and 26th. The last one had 900 people. It was incredible. And for that, just go to multifamilyvirtualbootcamp.com or text ROD live to 41411. But if you don't want to wait till July 25th and 26th, text crush to 41411 and we'll have a call with you about our mentorship program. But what I want to get into is some specific content that'll help my listeners, whether they work with us or not, as to getting started in this business. So let's take them through some of the things you did to get started, like soup to nuts. What are some of the first things you did when you got, from that you learned when you got into this business with us?
There's 4 things.
Okay.
The key to getting started, and I got to tell your listeners, anybody can do this if you dedicate yourself to it. I've got a wife of 15 years, 2 young boys, 10 and 7 years old. I have a full-time W-2 job, 5 businesses, 5 brands, and we bought that many doors this year. So look, guys, if I can do this with a program like this, anybody can do this. You just have to be able to take action. So let me tell you the 4 things, the 4 keys to success here, guys. The first thing is you got to learn everything you can. Rod's podcast, there's books out there. Just learn. You have to learn the language. So my recommendation to fast track that, of course, is to get coaching. Never in my life ever again will I not have coaching. Michael Phelps has a coach. Why shouldn't I have a coach? Right? Okay. There's potential energy there. You got to put it to use. So learn all you can. Network your butt off. Get out to national events, local events, meetups, whatever it is. Create your own. Pretend like you're the subject matter expert, but bring others in that actually know what they're talking about. Whatever you can do, you got to be able to network and step out of your comfort zone. And if you're the introverted type, that's okay. Find somebody that you know that loves to talk and bring them with you.
Yeah, let me interject. I apologize, but I want to hammer some things home that you're talking about here. So guys, if you didn't hear my interview with, I called it the Young Rock Stars, I think, episode, and I had 3 guys, and they had, I don't remember, just $65, $70 million worth of assets between them, all in their 20s. every single one of them, I was amazed to see this, was a partnership between an introverted person and an outgoing person. So I just want to reference that. So, yes, you need both pieces. You need someone that can look at a deal and analyze it, because this business is empirical. It's primarily numbers, all things being equal. Get our due diligence checklist. It's free on my website, and you answer all the right questions and you get the numbers right. It's pretty hard to make a mistake if you're conservative. But you also need someone to go out there and build relationships, because this is a team sport. So he's talking about networking. Do you mind show for the people that are on YouTube? You guys on iTunes can't see this, but show them what you showed me before we started recording. So Eric, I think, has been to, look at these lanyards. Every single event that I've ever had, I believe you've been to. Have you? I
missed the first one, Tampa, but I've been to 8. So,
okay. Wow. Yeah. Every one of those
amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. Every one of those sold out, but we encourage, in fact, we insist on networking. In fact, on the first day, we make people stand up and say, go meet, go get in groups of 5, tell them who you are, where you're from, what your superpower is, because everyone's got a superpower, and we force it. And people come up to me afterwards. They're like, man, I was really uncomfortable doing that, but I'm really glad you made us do it. And because once you've done it a few times, it's not scary anymore. So anyway, networking was number 2. Keep going, brother.
The only way to progress is you have to grow by being uncomfortable. So get comfortable being uncomfortable.
And by the way, in our live stream event, this last one we had, we set up a private Facebook group, and we're, people are connecting on there like crazy, just for the participants. So that's one of the benefits. If you decide to join me for a couple of days in July, that's one of the benefits, because, we can't do live events right now. We will be doing them again. In fact, I just talked to a hotel in Dallas yesterday, and we're looking at next October for a huge event in Dallas. But I'm not willing to commit and risk anybody's lives until we know for sure that this COVID thing is straight. But anyway, so number 2 is networking. Please continue.
Yeah. So learn all you can, network your butt off, or find somebody to help you network, and you'll get more comfortable with that. Yep. The third one a lot of people miss is add value to as many people as possible. Oh. When I'm connecting with people, when I'm networking, and some people will lump that in with networking. No, because if I'm cold calling a broker, or if I'm talking to somebody at one of your events, my goal is to look at them as a real human being with real aspirations, real intentions, real goals of their own. And I'm listening to what they're saying. I'm not just nodding my head and looking through them. So if you pay attention to what people are saying, no matter who you're talking to, you're able to add value to more than one person at a time. If you talk to John over here and Susie over here, and they both have, one person has a deal and one person has money, I become the connector of 2 people. I'm more valuable to more people.
And guys, what I call that is actually called, I call that super networking, because when you go at it like that, and what, he's talking about active listening, where you're not listening to try to respond. You're actually listening to understand. And I will tell you that and I'm guilty of this probably more than anybody, because my brain moves so freaking fast. That's my excuse, but that's my story, which is all that is. But the point is that Eric is really good at that, and it's a skill that I highly recommend you embody, because when you pull 2 people together and add value to and I want to hammer that home as well, guys, the more successful people in this business find a medium to add value. Like, you've got a podcast. Go ahead and put a plug in for your podcast. Is it ADPI?
Active Duty Passive Income.
Okay. Podcast. So, and he's had Kiyosaki on his freaking show. I haven't even gotten Robert Kiyosaki on mine. I mean, he's had some real hitters, Jocko Willink, the SEAL that's got his own podcast. And so it's really kudos to you, brother, because you haven't done it anywhere near as long as I have. But the point is, when you go out there with the mindset to add value, I live by that motto, is you add as much value as you possibly can. It always comes full circle. So back to my conversation here. The most successful people that do this business find a medium, they set up their own meetup group. They start a podcast. I've helped literally probably 3 dozen people in my warrior group start podcasts, and outside of the group as well. A LinkedIn group, a Facebook group, Instagram, whatever. I don't know anything about TikTok. I don't know if you can do it, but whatever. There's so many ways to go out there and and create reach now, but the key is to add value. All right, please continue.
No, I was just saying, and that was something that I had to work on. I recognized that it's inherent, I think, in humans to go out and have go to these events and just want to do something for yourself. You're trying to propel your own knowledge and your own family and your own education, but so it's a struggle for me too, because it's natural for me to go and want to do things for myself. So it's a skill, like you said. It's something that I had to develop, and I still always have to be intentional about it when I go to those types of things, because I am naturally drawn back to like me normally, naturally like a person.
It's human nature. Sure.
Human nature. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. So, add value to as many people as possible, and that comes back. And so you kind of can almost think of it as doing it selfishly in a way, but you're helping people as you're doing it, right?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just want to add one thing, and I'm really sorry that I jumped in there. I was talking about all these mediums that you can use to create reach. And guys, you don't have to be an expert to start one of those, and they're free to start. We live in a time that was unheard of, a decade ago. We didn't have this when I was getting started in this business. Ways for you to go. If you wanted to market, you had to spend money. That was the only way to do it. And here you're able to do it for free as long as you add value. So even if you're not an expert, you can interview experts. And just by virtue of you being the host or the meetup organizer or the group administrator on a group gives you credibility. It's the whole acting as if thing. Listen to one of my Own Your Power clips on acting as if. You're basically acting as if you're already successful, and by virtue of you being the one putting it on, you can fake it till you make it. And so this is how so many people start in this business. Anyway, sorry, brother. I just wanted to bring that home.
100%. And we started a community first, right? A very niche down community. And it's 10,000 members because we're adding so much value. So if you're out there listening and you don't know how to do that, just start your own Facebook group and add 5 free pieces of value of something that or whatever's in your niche. Maybe that's your face on there talking about what that's a free piece of value to people. So you can start your own little niche and community. Okay.
Yep.
The last and probably most important thing of the 4 things. So again, learn, network, add value, is take action. If you don't take action, you'll never succeed. You must fail. You've got to fail forward, just not on your butt. Just make sure you're moving forward at all times. And if you do those 4 things over and over again with the intention to be 1% better daily, success will hunt you down. You don't have to worry about the details.
I love it. And guys, that's one of the biggest things that I message: massive freaking action. And like he said, fail your way forward. We fail our way to success, guys. There's no straight line. There are going to be setbacks. There are going to be hurdles. You're going to fall on your face. You're going to get your nose bloodied. It's not if, it's when. And it's only a failure if you don't get back up or you don't learn the lesson. That's why we call them seminars. And, if you haven't heard me say this, I've built 24 businesses and several worth tens of millions, most spectacular flaming seminars. But I got up and I was better every single time. And so, don't fear failure, my friends. Fear being in the same freaking place a year from now that you are right now, unless you love where you are right now. That's what you should fear. So great message, Eric. So those 4 things. Now, how about a little more tactical? Let's drill down a little bit more because I really want to add, have you download. So from a tactical standpoint, what are some of the things a person should do? You gave them those 4, which are fantastic, but those are pretty overarching. Let's drill down a little bit. So somebody wants to get in this business. What would you say, give some steps, some more micro steps on this, and I can coach you on this if you need it, but you shouldn't need it.
Yeah, no, I mean, honestly, you've got to have the resources, first of all. Like I said, if you want to learn the language, immerse yourself in it. It's like, if I want to learn Spanish, I'm taking a trip with my family to Guatemala for 30 days, right?
Yep.
Because I want to learn the language.
Total immersion.
Total immersion. So get in there, get coaching, and get a mentor.
Or come see me for 2 days. It's $97 freaking dollars for 2 days. We're not selling anything. Just get there. Okay.
There's a kickstart. That's actually the kickstart that got me. When I saw you and met you that first day, and you told me at that boot camp, you didn't know me, but you're talking to the audience, that you have to take bold, decisive action. So I walk up to you and I say, Rod, will you write the foreword to our book? Here's me, I'm Eric, blah, blah, blah. And you said, yes, I don't know you, but yes. Okay, fine. So, but I'm just saying that was what kickstarted me, because I went and I immersed myself for 3 days into a niche that I had zero knowledge of, by the way. I hadn't listened to your podcast yet or anything. Right. So that was an immersive piece right there. And then a light bulb kind of went on. And I think that's probably why you do this a lot is if you can get a light bulb to click on with somebody and change their life. I mean, my family legacy has changed forever now.
Yeah, and for sure, the goal is to inspire, and that's why I want to drill down with you, because you're going to inspire thousands of people with this interview today, because you are proof of what's possible, and I've got numerous examples of this in our program, but your energy is contagious, and again, you learn the business for sure. And I will tell you, to even micro down a little bit more than that. So what are some of the steps? First of all, you look in the mirror. What are your strengths and weaknesses? You come up with your investment criteria. You decide where you're going to buy, what size you're going to buy based on your strengths and your team. You start putting a team together. And like I said, I told you about these guys in their 20s that have, what was it, 60, $70 million worth of assets, and they're all teams. So you look at your strengths and your weaknesses, you focus on your strengths, you hire a line or partner for your weaknesses. And then, you pick a market. And guys, if you're not following my Rod Khleif official page, I go live with content like this all the time. I just did Finding Deals on Monday of this week. On Friday, I'm doing Finding the Money for Your Deals. And I've talked about how to pick an area and how to do all these pieces, how to create your investment criteria. And so just follow my Rod Khleif official page for that. But the point is, then you pick a market, then you start building a team in that market. And I'm not talking about an in-house team. I'm talking about the relationships with brokers, with property managers, with lenders, with investors. Anybody that holds still, and lawyers, anybody that holds still long enough better know what it is you do. And that is you're buying multifamily properties. Like I promise you that anybody that Eric talks to for more than a minute knows that he's in multifamily.
My dentist knows that I'm a multifamily
investor. There you go.
The guy who owns the Chevron on the corner, he knows I'm a multifamily investor.
Right.
Also, he
right.
owns 7 Chevrons nearby. So
there you go. And he's got money. And by the way, guys, when you're evaluating someone to see if they can invest with you, I can't tell you how many times I'm like, this guy hasn't got a pot to what in, and he's a millionaire, or she's a millionaire. So in fact, there was this old lady that I met once back in Denver. This is decades ago, and she loaned me millions of dollars, and she lived in a little $30,000 house in Aurora, Colorado, and so do not prejudge, I guess is my point there.
That's another thing that I learned, Rod, is that in this industry, maybe in particular, I don't know, you cannot. I feel like people are a little bit more flashy in the single family space, certainly the retail space. But in multifamily, you cannot judge anybody. I learned that, and thankfully not the hard way. Really, I just kind of realized it. Mm-hmm. You could have somebody wearing a hoodie and cut off jeans and their own thousands of doors, and they're super successful. I mean, my neighbor down the cul-de-sac, most down to earth guy, owns 6,000 doors. Met him at a New Year's Eve party.
No kidding.
Yeah, wow. He lives 3 blocks from me.
Wow. Well, so guys, so let's let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
And I still want to go deeper on some things here, but give some advice to someone that hasn't done a deal yet. What would you, I mean, okay, educate for sure, but action steps, maybe some action steps. Well, what would you tell them?
This is an interesting one too. And I learned this from you also, which is your mind's got to be right before you're doing that. I think it's important to understand you've got to distill down what is your motivator. What is if you're going to take decisive action, what is going to get you out of bed every morning to make you do this? Because it's not going to be easy. It's going to be simplified if you have the right systems in place, but it's not going to be easy. So what's your motivator? So distill down your why. And mine is, I do this for the memory and pride of those who've gone before me, for they love to fight, fought to win, and would rather die than quit. So I do this for my brothers who I buried, the ones who can't seek success. They can't feel failure. They're no longer breathing. So if you distill down a deep rooted why, nothing's going to stop you because you will go to that next step. You will be willing to turn around and talk to your neighbor. You'll be willing to learn a new task. Nothing complicated, but you've got to have that why in place.
Strong enough why. And guys, that's people get irritated sometimes when at every event that I do, we start with goal setting, because if you don't know what the hell it is you want and why you want it, how are you ever going to get it? And that why and that's a beautiful why, by the way, buddy. And you can tell he has memorized that, and it is in his soul. Yep. And guys, when your why is that strong, there's nothing you can't do. There's nothing that will stop you. You are like a train on a track, and nothing's going to get in the way. And so, love that answer, brother. Love that answer. And candidly, you guys have heard me say it ad nauseum on this show. 80 to 90% of your success in anything is that mindset. It's being willing to take action and push through fear, and those analytical people, not having to check off every freaking box, just do it, fail forward. You're going to make mistakes. It's okay. It's okay. That's how the most successful people on the planet became that way. And, okay. So know your why. So that's foundational. Any other tips for that same demographic, that I want you to inspire today?
People who are just getting started.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think we've talked a lot about it. Just, okay. You've got to have the nuts and bolts of how to do this business, and then it's really action. I just feel like it's not super, once you have the right resources, it's not something that anybody can't do. You just have to make that have that spark. Something's got to light up, which you're doing a great job of doing for a lot of people.
So how do you push through fear? How do you push through fear, Eric? Maybe I just want to, because they've heard everything I've said on it. I want to just get your thought on it.
Yeah, well, I think it goes back to what I just said about having a why. When I walked up to you and asked you to write the forward to our book, I was terrified. You were taking a break in between sets, and trying to grab a drink of water, and I was a little nervous, to say the least. But I said, you know what? I want to make sure that this is going to be something that can propel our vision for our company and for all of the things that we're doing to influence people. Right?
Nice.
You've got to have that.
5 seconds of courage. 5 seconds of courage.
Exactly.
Yeah, love it.
And the way I looked at it too, and part of this is perspective, but there's something about doing little things like that now that, like, no one's going to die or get hurt when I do that. When you guys go out there and you're learning this business, no one's going to die or get hurt. If I make a mistake in special operations, someone might. Yeah. So this was just a perspective of, you contrasted it.
Oh, what an awesome contrast.
Yeah. Yeah. I've got that tingle in my spine still, but it's not no one's going to get hurt.
I love it. I had to do that the first time I walked across fire at a Tony event. I'm like, oh my good God. Well, listen, and then I was like, listen, if 3,000 people can do this, by God, Rod Khleif can do it.
Well, you got me to go to UPW. And when I did that was not a big deal to me at all.
Right. I
was like, okay, cool. Let's do it. It's 1 a.m. Let's go.
Right. Yeah. Right. That too. Yeah. There is that. So let me ask you this. Tell us about any aha moments that you had in this journey so far. Any just like, wow. Yeah. Like I don't know, the clouds parted, or it was just like a revelation. Anything come to mind?
So honestly, and we talked a little bit about this earlier, but getting through that first 80 unit deal, that you guys, when you're learning this business, and Rod will say this too, but the first deal is the hardest deal to get through. What aha moment for me was when we had built the right team, we had found the deal, we had all the resources, we knew what we were doing, and when we closed. And when you close, the work then starts, right, with all the asset management. But then I realized the next deal was already on the table. That broker who we closed with, right? One broker can make you wealthy. Oh yeah. One good broker, one relationship. And that broker is now feeding us our next deal. Now, So people ask you, where are you getting your next deal? Well, we're not sending mailers out right now because we're not in a super rush to buy something that's overvalued. We're just waiting for that off-market deal from the broker because he likes us.
Yeah. Nice. Nice. So what do you think that there's a particular type of person that's best suited for this business?
Man, I almost said yes, but no. My answer is no. There's not a particular person, because you need introverts and extroverts. Yeah. You do have to have somebody who's willing to take bold action And those introverts are going to be more difficult to do so, but they are going to be wildly accepted and wildly successful when they do take that action. Extroverts are easy to get in this business because they want to be out there in front of people and they want to, reach out for stuff. But honestly, I feel like the right person is somebody who's just willing to try and has a successful, vision ahead. So.
Do you have any quotes that you love that hang on your wall, or anything that comes to mind when I say that, or just talk about what inspires you? Because you're so driven. I always enjoy our conversations because, in that regard, you are very, very driven.
It's interesting. One thing I have is Lao Tzu, a leader is best when people barely know he exists. When his work is done, his aim complete, people will say, we did it ourselves. And that's kind of just a leadership quote, but I love it because
that's awesome.
It kind of ties in with, my unit credo of being a silent professional. And, while I do have to outreach and, influence more people, I want to do it in a way that ultimately gives back for a specific reason. And you can lead from the front with kind of keeping that stuff in mind. And I'd love to talk about giving here.
Yeah, let's do that next. Actually, let's do that next. I just got an email from you on that recently. Out of the 400 emails I get a day, talk about that initiative that you're doing for homeless vets, please.
So one thing that we on my vision board, and Rod, thank you for putting this in my head, but I have a gratitude and accomplishments and goals vision boards on my office wall across from me, hanging up high so I can see them all day long. And one of them is I'm going to give away $1 million annually to my favorite charities.
Love it.
Or families
and by the way, did you guys see him catch himself? He caught himself. He says, I'm going, you said, I want to. And then he said, I'm going to, guys, when you make a decision, it is freaking done. Yep. Okay. It's not a 1 foot in, 1 foot out. It's not, I hope, and I'm going to try, I might, I need to, or I should do this. No, it is freaking done. Sorry.
Another great example of that. Yeah, a great example. You were going to get me on it if I didn't, I'm sure. So, but I at your first boot camp, I said, I'm going to be on that stage within 1 year. I committed to it, and I was.
Right. Yes, you were.
By that time, I had developed a relationship with your team and with everybody, and I had some
and you'd kicked massive ass and
exactly
574 doors. I'd be an idiot not to get you up there and show people what's possible.
Yep.
And I do that with our successful warriors because, the whole goal is to demystify and to
totally
give people, I feel like if someone's interested in this business and they don't take action either with us or period, I don't care who with, but they don't take action, we failed them. That's truly our motto in my organization, that if they don't take action with us, we failed them because people need a push. They need to, and once they get past that initial fear, having this conversation is, I remember you calling me freaking out because you had to raise the money for that 80 unit. I remember this conversation now, and I'd forgotten about it until we started talking about this.
I'd rather you just forget about it.
I know, but dude, you went, I said, buckle down, you got this, and you made it happen. Boom.
Yeah,
it was just,
absolutely.
And you just that's it. That's all you needed, and you made it happen.
Yep.
So
let's get back to giving. Give $1 million annually, but there's two other things. The Veterans Community Project is a nonprofit that we support. We're raising $35,000. We're at 20 right now, or we're at $30,000 right now.
Fantastic.
We're raising $35,000 to build a tiny home for homeless veterans. And they built 50 units in Kansas City and 26 now in Longmont, Colorado. I'm going to take my kids out there and help them build. But we are going to end veteran homelessness in the United States this decade. And there are 3,000 cities lined up for this program to come in and execute that.
What's the website so people can donate?
veteranscommunityproject.org. They can reach out to me too.
veteranscommunityproject.org. I love it. I freaking love it.
And then the third one that we do to give, we created ADPI Helps, which is helping everyone live post-stress. It's a PTSD and addiction support outlet. We have a monthly Zoom call. Just anybody can come on and talk about anything. And it's not a nonprofit, and we'll never charge anything. It's just open to anybody. We have mothers of soldiers coming in and just talking about their sons that are deployed and stuff. So
nice.
I was somebody, I have was diagnosed with PTSD after burying several of my friends in special operations. And so something dear to my heart is just helping people understand that as they transition from the military, there is another life, and we have to figure out a way to get them to understand that, because you lose a lot when you leave the service. You lose, mission and camaraderie and accolades and purpose. And so we're giving that to people.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Okay. So guys, his website is activedutypassiveincome.com. And guys, I want to point something out to you, because I've had some of you young blood dripping from the teeth want this success so bad. Call me and ask me, do I really need to give back before I'm successful? Eric's nodding right now. You better freaking believe it, because what you give, you get back, guys. Okay. You want success, give of your time, give of your money. You want love, give love. You want happiness, give happiness. The bottom line is whatever you give, you get back in spades. And I don't know if Eric's not an example of this, then you need to wake up, go have a cup of coffee, because it is absolutely a law of the universe. Yes. Well, listen, thank you, brother. You've added tremendous value today. I really appreciate your time, and we will talk, I'm sure, probably a little later this afternoon on our coaching call.
I am looking forward to it, and thank you so much. This has been an honor. I can't believe where we've come. I'm here, and I hope I help inspire some people. So.
You absolutely, I know you did. Take care, bud. Take care.
Thanks a lot.
See you later.
I'll see you.
Rod, I know a lot of our listeners are wanting to take their multifamily investing business to the next level. Now, I know you've been hard at work helping our Warrior students do just that using our ACT methodology, which is awareness, close, and transform. Can you explain to the listeners how they can get our help?
You bet. Guys, we've been going nonstop for 3 years, building an amazing community of like-minded people. And our coaching students, which we call our Warriors, have had extraordinary results. They've purchased thousands and thousands of units. And last year, we did over 1,000 units with our students. And we're looking to grow this group and take it to the next level. We're looking for people who want to follow a proven framework that's really step by step, and then leverage our systems and network to raise equity, to find and close deals, and to build partnerships nationwide. Now, our Warrior community is finding success in any market cycle. So if you're interested in finding out more about how you can become more of our incredible network and take advantage of the incredible opportunities that are coming very soon, apply to work with us at mentorwithrod.com or text CRUSH to 41411. That's mentorwithrod.com or text CRUSH to 41411.